What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit up those links down below, especially that Robinhood link if you want to support me. You get a free stock, I get a free stock. It's a win-win for everybody, but if you want to help out everybody on the channel, make sure to send me an email and you can sponsor a video and that will be dispersed to all of us. So again, thank you everybody, and now we can get into the episode. It is Wednesday, May 27th, and yeah, let's get into it. I got my dab rig here this morning. We'll have a little dab and get into some topics. I did write a couple stories down, or a little update on a couple of things, so that's what we will get into this morning. I still wasn't able to fix that audio from Monday's episode, so for now that is just the video straight off of the phone, so that's why the audio is like it is on that one. It doesn't sound too bad, but you might be wondering why I have headphones on and a microphone and all of that, and it wasn't being utilized. So I did have some technical difficulties. I'm dealing with this Pro Tools stuff, and all of that is a never-ending battle. It just seems to... You always have to update or upgrade or something, man. I don't know. But I would like to upgrade and get a newer version of Pro Tools, plus maybe their HD thing, where I think that helps with some of the processing power and storage stuff as well. So I've been looking into it. It's pretty pricey, pretty expensive. And I have a lot of other stuff I gotta kind of take care of until then. So for now, this still works, but hopefully sometime in the near future, I will be able to kind of upgrade the whole system. And you know, some of the new Pro Tools, you can add like multiple video clips into the session and, you know, edit video that way. So that would be nice to just be able to edit it all on here, take multiple clips and do that. Like, that would help out my new series and stuff a lot. Let's get into this. It's cooled down enough. Cheers. Got my coffee here, like most days. That was that lemon bean live sauce from Cresco. Has a really good flavor, really good taste, and when you smell it too, man, it's crazy. Oh man, so I was bummed. All right, before we get into all this, No World Order went live yesterday on Instagram, so you can go to @the_No World Order podcast. Check out the IGTV. That was done yesterday. The audio only will be uploaded today at 2:30 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't want to go watch the video, the audio only will be available. But it was frustrating because when I was getting things set up for yesterday's talk, microphones and all that, man, this stupid little cheap arm, microphone arm stand, scissor arm stand, broke. So now both of them that I bought, they were really cheap. They're only like $14 each. So that's my fault for just getting this cheap quality stuff. And yeah, not good. So pretty frustrated. Only limited to one microphone again. I did place an order as soon as possible yesterday to get 2 new microphone arm stands, and they were way more expensive, so this should be a lot better quality. They should last longer. They're, I'm assuming, a lot more thick and able to kind of withstand the weight of a heavier microphone. So it was a bummer. It was pretty frustrating. We got through it though. I was able to just hold the microphone. Everything worked out fine. But it was just really frustrating. I just couldn't believe it. It's like, man, here we are, more issues again. Just can't seem to escape them for whatever reason. But it was a good episode yesterday. We had good conversation. We had good flow. I felt it went really well. So go check that episode out. Like I said, it was a fun one, at least in my opinion. I think all of those conversations with me and Zach are pretty good. I mean, even if we disagree on things, it's a good conversation. And, yesterday I was kind of challenging him on some of the things because we were getting into some of the new age and spirituality and The Secret and some of that stuff. And I was just pointing out how usually that's rooted in good and thinking positive thoughts, and how, I was just trying to point out how is that bad, because his take on it was it usually turns negative. And I understand that because I think a lot of people can really use it selfishly and manipulate it and, really actually turn things bad or use that negativity. But I was just trying to challenge him, and that's what I'd like to do. Even if I agree with him on things, or anybody in general, like, I'll try and look at it from the opposite point of view to challenge it. And that's just how my brain works. And that's what it is. But it was a good episode. It was fun, so go check that out. And now I guess we can get into some of the news stuff. So here in San Diego, there has been an additional 85 positive cases. So, pretty scary, right? Not to me. Because with that same news, there's been 0 deaths from COVID in 3 days now. But there has been that additional 85 positive cases. But to me, that just means more people are getting tested and less people are actually getting sick and dying. So, to me, that's positive news. Even with the 85 positive cases, I mean, we already know for the most part, it's not a big deal. If you are a younger demographic, healthy, get your vitamin D in. There's things that can be done that they aren't saying on mainstream TV that could really be beneficial if you just kind of look for it instead of just accepting what is being presented. So again, to me, seems like it's good and positive. No deaths, more positive cases. So that should just kind of add to that statistic of the mortality rate being like a 99.9% survival rating or whatever. So, that's where we're at. But people are still so scared. People are still so scared. But things are starting to open up more and more, even with restrictions and limitations. We are going more and more into phase 2. Barbershops and hair salons can open up. I thought I said yesterday, but for sure today. But with like limitations and restrictions, they must comply with the county's safe reopening plan and make sure those guidelines are posted and gone over with each staff member. And, they just gotta be safe and take these precautions. And yeah, that's where we're at. So again, we're seeing steps in the right direction and things opening up, but I really don't like how they're doing these restrictions. And things like eyebrow threading and waxing, eyelash implants, facials, and shaves are still not allowed. So it's like they're giving us a little bit, but still holding on to so much and just really controlling us. And yeah, it's not fun, man. It's not a good way to live, being so restricted and being told what you can do, when you can do it. That just seems like it's very, very communist-like, socialist-like, jail-like. You're on this structure, you're told what to do, where to go, when, all of that. I know we're not to that extreme yet, but at what point does it stop? They can just keep moving the goalposts. They can just keep changing what they want. And yeah, I don't agree with that. And another thing, churches are to reopen with restrictions and limitations as well. They kind of have to follow the same safe reopening plan stated by the county. And they have to kind of just take measures to practice these guidelines and practice social distancing, alter their services, like no more child play areas, and have to be 6 feet apart, even in services, and face mask coverings are strongly recommended. It's interesting that they didn't say mandatory, but it said strongly recommended. So I did think that was a little interesting. But yeah, they're only allowed with like a 25% capacity or 100 people, whatever number is lower. So yeah, maybe they just have to do more services, shorter condensed services, especially if you're not going to have like the worship and all that pre and post interaction of people. Just come in, listen to like a 20-30 minute service, and then have a turnaround and maybe get 2 in an hour and a half or something like that, and just pump out like 4 per day on the weekend. I don't know how that will work. Just listening to I was listening to Joe Rogan yesterday, and just the fact that churches were closed, but liquor stores and dispensaries were open, and AA meetings were closed down. It's like, what are we doing? Like, do you not realize these people like really rely on those things? Like, I'm sure so many people have relapsed because of this, because they didn't have access to their meeting. And it's terrible. I mean, I don't know anybody personally. I'm just going off of assumptions, which is never a good thing. But I can only assume that because people didn't have access, in these Zoom meetings, from what I've been hearing, just aren't the same. You don't get that connection. It's just not as useful. And for them to deem liquor stores and dispensaries and all that essential, why couldn't churches and these AA meetings and all of that be deemed essential? And I'm sure they could have worked around, just like these other businesses that have been open, with practicing safe protocols and all of that. But yeah, it's really frustrating. I did see as well that suicides have gone up insanely over this time, over this quarantine lockdown, whatever you want to call it, during this virus. These suicides have gone up tremendously. And it's like, I thought we were all about saving lives here with this whole thing. And it seems to be causing a lot more damage than good. Especially if we look at the numbers, and we're looking at the numbers of suicides, domestic violence, child abuse, kids going starving, all this stuff. Like, I thought this was about saving lives and helping people, but it's clearly not. It seems to be like there's some other agenda. And just because I point that out doesn't mean that, I want other people to die from this virus or who are sick. Like, no, that's not the thing. It's just, on average, we as a people will be good. And we're seeing more harm from this lockdown than good. So it's a little frustrating. It really is. But anyways, let's keep it moving. That's like enough with the COVID talk and all of that. I just keep up with it because I do this, and it's just more news update to talk about, and but I don't really try and pay attention to it other than this when I'm having conversation or doing this episode. So I'll try and look some stuff up when I'm talking with Zach, and I'll try and look some stuff when I'm doing an episode. Other than that, I try and keep my eyes away from all of this talk and my ears away from all of this talk, because it just seems to go nowhere, and I'm just going to live my life. I mean, I went to the store without a mask. Do I really want to keep doing that and having that fight every single time where it's like, oh, you need a mask? No, I don't. I have a disability. So it's like, now it's just going to force me to order groceries online and just get it delivered. And it's like, it's really frustrating. I hate that it's forcing me to do that, but I just don't like confrontation. I don't like going out. I'm becoming more and more introverted as this virus passes. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go back to work. Everybody's saying, oh, places are opening up. You got to go back to work. And it's like, I just want to do this, but I got to figure out a way to make some money off of this and get some income. But I won't stop. Even if I do have to get a little part-time job or something, I'll still figure out a way to make this happen. I might have to adjust schedules and all of that, but this will still be a main staple for me, because it's what I enjoy, is what I want to do, it's what I love, it's what I'm passionate about, and it gives me that freedom, that creativity that I want. I can kind of add to the channel as much as I want. I can kind of do whatever I want with it, as far as creative goes, and I can have my brother make music. I can add to the different series, and there's just so many things that I can do. So that's what it is. But let's get into this. UFC on Saturday. It's back again. It should be taking place in Las Vegas at the Apex Center. So that's awesome. They are back home. They got their home court. They got their home field. They got their home octagon. Hopefully they can, everything runs smooth. Everything is safe. I'm sure the fighters are all there already, getting tested and, taking those steps to stay safe. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I got a chance to glance at the card. It's not too many names I'm familiar with, like offhand, but I am excited for the main event. Obviously, Gilbert Burns versus Tyrone Woodley. And yeah, man, that should be a good fight. I believe this is Woodley's first fight back after his loss from Usman. So this should be interesting how he kind of comes back and reestablishes himself. And we'll see what Gilbert Burns does. I mean, that's kind of the mainstay fight. Obviously, it's the main event. And that's kind of the only one that stood out to me. I'm not a super diehard, so I don't know all the names of fighters. If I see him, I'll recognize him. Oh, that's this guy. Oh, that's her. But it takes me a while to get familiar with people's names and who they are. But yeah, I'm excited for the main event. Obviously, I'm excited to just watch UFC in general when it's on, because even if I am not familiar with them, it's still good fights and it gets me more familiar with these people. So that's what I like, and I am excited about it. And it's cool that they will be back in Vegas, and we'll see how the Apex Center is highlighted on ESPN and how they make that look. And I'm sure it'll be fine. I believe that's where they do the Dana White looking for a fight stuff, or the fight contender. No, not the looking for a fight, because that's where he goes to other people. But he has the contender series there, and yeah, so it's been utilized plenty of times. So it'll be exciting to kind of see that take place. Another UFC news. Henry Cejudo officially retired. No longer listed on the ranks of the flyweight or the bantamweight rankings. So it looks like his retirement was true after all. All those people who thought it was just being used as a bargaining chip and negotiating tactic. It looked like Brendan Shaw was kind of right after all. It seems like he just wanted to move on. He knew that his worth was more than what he was being compensated, and he probably feels like he has other opportunities out there and probably just wants to move to the next stage of his life, which is what he's been saying. So we kind of just have to take him for his word at that. So that's pretty cool, though. Shout out to Henry Cejudo. I just did watch his Olympic gold wrestling match, and from 2008 in Beijing. And yeah, man, it was cool. Guy's a beast of a wrestler, man. Guy is a beast of a wrestler. So yeah, that was interesting. He's retired, no longer on the rankings. But he was spotted with the AEW crew, the All Elite Wrestling crew, a few of those people. I know they just had their pay-per-view, so I think he was kind of there or in the area or something like that, and he was spotted and took a picture with some people. So will that lead to something? I don't know. Was it just him being a fan and just, mingling around these people? I don't know. We'll see what kind of happens. But we do know Mike Tyson's there, and he's involved in some way. He was there at the pay-per-view. I think he's going to be there tonight on Dynamite doing something. So, it's interesting. It seems like AEW is just going down that WCW route. And they better be careful. Because we know what happened with WCW. And it's by the same owner and everything. So, or the same network, I should say. Not the same owner. But same partnerships and all of that with the TNT network. And yeah, there's just a lot of parallels with the WCW and now AEW. And I just feel like they got to be careful. But we will see what they do. We'll see if Henry Cejudo pops up. We'll see what Mike Tyson does. I mean, I won't be able to see it unless a clip on YouTube or something. But I just need to figure out a way to get to watch AEW wrestling because I would much rather watch that than WWE right now. So I haven't watched Raw, didn't watch the previous SmackDown. I just don't really care about it right now, and it's frustrating. They gotta make some changes, storyline and all that, because it has completely lost my interest. I really don't care about it at all anymore. But I did read that Rey Mysterio is set to retire on Monday, June 1st. I believe that was the date. At least that's what I read. And by a ceremony hosted by Seth Rollins. So to me, this feels like a work, but could be real. Rey Mysterio is like 45 years old. So I guess we can only just wait and see what happens. With them advertising this type of thing, it's usually a work, and usually when mid-sentence about to say I retire, someone comes out and, interrupts and blah, 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 and, it's usually so WWE style, and they don't retire, and then they have a match, and, so we'll see. Could be a real retirement. I really don't know. But I guess we will see, and I guess I would have to watch to find out. But I have not been watching lately. Oh, let's get into this last dab, and then I will get out of here because I don't want it to run long, because I don't want these technical difficulties. So I'm just going to heat this up, and then I will get on out of here. Got some family coming into town today for a little while. My mom's sister, so my aunt and my cousin are coming. And they're from Vegas. And they just needed to kind of escape that town for a little bit. They have nothing's really going on. Some of their friends there just kind of left for a while, so she's like, oh, I need to get away. I'm not gonna have anybody to see or anything like that. So they're coming to town. It'll be cool to see them. Should be here this afternoon, I think, at some point, and I think we're gonna have a dinner all together. So that will be nice. That is something to look forward to. And that is about it. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Hit up those links down below, like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode. Robinhood. Send me an email if you want to help out all of us. And that's about it. That is about it. Go follow all the Instagram accounts that are posted, all the social medias, all of that. And let's get into this dab. Cheers, everybody. All right, guys. I'm going to take off, go get this uploaded. Again, thank you, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, hit up the links down below. And until next time, peace.